Today we have another great interview lined up in the studio, somewhere in the world right now. And I say somewhere in the world because we are in Cyberland. We have none other than Terri Green. How are you doing today?
How are you? How are you? I am really, really fine. So glad to be here. I've been looking forward to this because I somehow didn't realize you were a part of all of these different things that I had been recognizing on the web. So it was kind of like a blessing that you reached out, because I was like, well, I've been looking for you anyway.
Oh, well, that's great. That is really good. I mean, we've got a little umbrella over everything and lots of little things going on that all tie up. And when you start joining the dots, you just see we're one thing, really.
I know.
And we just want to be a platform for artists like yourself and also artists from the past that have become independent, you know, due to the change in the music industry. So we're here as a platform. You know, it's not about us, it's about you and you guys. So, well, we're going to kick off and I'm going to ask you the most boring question in the world, which everybody's going to have asked you. And you're thinking, what's that? What's your favorite ice cream?
Are you serious?
I'm joking. We'll get to one like that later. But what I was going to ask is, where did it all start for you?
It started in Germany, and coming over to Europe as a kid, I realized that I wanted to come back. I was 7. And by the time we left and went back to the US, my parents were military. I said, I kind of missed that. But it was being offered a job in the 90s in Germany. I came back, I took a management job. And while I was a full-time manager, I was actually moonlighting in clubs. Couldn't sing that well. I mean, it was really at a low level at that time. But I was singing with DJs. Turbo B's cousin was around. Just a lot of the 90s people. Melanie Thornton, all these people were in this one city. We were all there. And we started doing 90s music. And when I did the group Tu Avisa, that went to #1 in Spain, #1 in Italy, top 13 in the UK. And I started going everywhere without really being in the music business. And I didn't realize house and dance music was going to be a platform that would last my entire life so far. So after 1,000 singles in dance music, working with everybody from Avicii to David Guetta to Laidback Luke, Roger Sanchez, Joey Negro, I finally said, Toddy came up with the idea of the Terri Green Project. And I said, yeah, let's call it Project, because I want people to feel the musicians have a value and it's not all about me. We've grown now and developed, and it's really come more of a focus on me right now. But I still remember Toddy having these orchestral soul ideas. And the first song was Give Me One More Chance. So we had an album. We went on the cruise ships in Germany and we started playing the music. And we were one of the few groups that could play their own records. Normally it's cover.
Yeah.
And I played the night I sung Give Me One More Chance to a German audience who didn't really speak English. And it worked, and they stood up on their feet. I said, Toddy, there's something to this. We have to redo it again. So we waited till 2019 or 2018, maybe 17, and we started to write a second album. And that's when Steve Ripley came on board, Gary Vanderbush, the whole UK soul folks, and Starpoint and Solar and all these different stations that we got to know. BBC came on board. Tony Blackburn started to have us on his radar.
Nice.
And that's when I said, wait a minute, this is crazy. So maybe there's something we can last. We went from 0 to 1 in the UK soul charts, and we didn't know really what that was. So we were like, wait a minute, I think this works. And then we had the pandemic. So everything that kind of built us up kind of fell down. And I was still doing a lot of house music during this whole time. But I started to write. I said, you know what? When this pandemic ends, whenever it ends, I want to start writing the songs that I want to sing as well. So Terri Green Project was 50-50, what Toddy wanted and what I wanted. The Terri Green Project is 100% what I want. And it means a little more gritty, a little bit, he knows that too. He's very proud of me. I met Raheem Devon's producer in DC, in Maryland, out at the border of DC. And I said, listen, I produced this track. but I need a mixer. And Mark Stagger's brother Reggie and I had produced and, really kind of nailed it. We got the first record done, which was called That's Something. And then we called Lenny Harris from NWO. He said, I think you should get Mike Scott on guitar. And this guy he is the musical director with Justin Timberlake, playing for Prince for 10 years. And he jumped on the record. And I was like, I am not worthy of this shit, but glad that it's happening. I always knew, that I was above, that I was fighting above my weight here. Like, these cats are real musicians. And people kind of embraced me, and I was able to do, until today, the records that I love. And that's kind of what we got. I won an Indie Soul Grammy this year for Best Female Vocalist. And I've still managed to do my house stuff on the back. I'm actually in the studio, like I said this morning, in Bonaire, and I'm touring a lot. And I'm blessed, I'm grateful. I still had time to do a Ukrainian project because I love, and I'm destroyed and I'm in pain for what I see for people, what they're going through. Yeah. So singing is just one avenue I have to speak. We can talk about it a little bit later, but yeah, I'm glad, but it was the UK that put us on the map. It will always be the UK that said, you are worthy of being in the soul scene for real.
And you've got a very good point about the UK. We're a very small island, but what I've seen just looking over history over the years, we've always had, even at school, we had like different tribes of people. You had the punks, you had the rock and roll, the Teddy Boys, you had the mods, you had the soul boys, you had the B-boys, which is what I was doing.
I see that right now.
We all got on, but we all had something we were into. And one thing that's always been strong about the UK is the soul scene. Everyone seems to know each other. Sometimes people are trying to outdo each other. It can be a bit of a cliquey scene, but when you're the musician, they all want you. And that's the best thing about it. And we are just sort of like seen throughout the world as having a good soul scene. I mean, we had Loose Ends and we had Soul to Soul making it in America, and we're like,
and Misha Paris,
Sade,
Heavy, Brand New Heavies, my favorite all
Heavies.
time. Heavies. I dreamed that I could make that music, and I've not arrived yet, but I'm hoping if I get to number one in America or whatever, they're going to give me a call and say, Terry, we want to make a record with you, because I think my voice fits, and I think that I've dreamed of them so long that it must come true. Like I just as a feature, I just would love to be in a studio with them.
Well, that's really good, because I was going to later ask who would like to work with, and you've already answered the question before I asked, and that's wonderful, because these are the best types of interviews. They're organic. I'm not reading from a list. I normally have a few pointers written on the wall, but most of the time I throw it out the window. But with the whole soul scene, I'm just seeing. I mean, I've grown up with this since I was 11. I've been buying records, and so elements coming at me. So I've noticed in America, you have a soul scene going on out there, but it's pockets of people, in different cities and different states. But in the UK, it's all just kind of crushed together, and we all know each other. And I think, to make it in a scene, it's got to be somewhere where everyone's working together, and we do work together out here. And even going back to the days of Motown, people were coming out here and they couldn't believe what a strong scene we had. And I think it always will be that way. And what I admire about Germany is how open-minded people are about music there as well. And that is a great place where you are right now. So
great. And they embrace soul more than radio tells the story. If you go to an event, it's sold out. Sorry, I have to turn off my messaging.
That's okay.
But it's really, really interesting how powerful the people really support you, and they're not as monolithic. Like, they're very diverse in taste It's not only, oh, we only like Schlager, we only like this. They really love, Barry White is probably something every German loves.
Yes, yeah. And I know for a fact from friends that have been out to Germany looking for records, you find back in the day, you would find everything in Germany because people would listen to everything, you know, and that was always a good thing. And I had a friend who used to go out there a lot, and he said you could go to any club, you could hear what you wanted. You just find it. You find it in Germany.
Exactly.
And then when I was in a band in the 90s, I was told, you're going to get treated rough in the UK, but as soon as you go to Germany, you're going to get treated like kings.
Yeah. And I think that England also, just similar to the US, they're trend starters. Like they keep it going regardless of what you feel about it. I was so blown away to see the All Dare. The All Dare was blows my mind.
Oh, those things are great.
Club full of ladies just throwing down. I joined John Leach on he had a DJ gig, and I came along, me and Cornell CC Carter.
Cornell's my brother. I like Cornell.
They were singing Ain't No Stopping Us Now like it was a room full of black people in Chicago. It was the best thing I ever seen in my life. Just amazing. People just jamming. And I just thought, wow, this is amazing. To see the vibe and the energy. The people really, they know their soul. They know their soul.
They really do. And, you know, when I get a chance to play in London, I always enjoy the London crowd because I can go a bit deeper. I can pull some real old under the counter private press soul record and people are going to know it. Like, okay, it's great. You know, I can get really deep and then I can play the stuff everyone knows as well. You can't do that everywhere, but you can definitely do that in London.
Right.
Which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, Newcastle, that Northern soul, they are just out. They are powerful.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So you went to Newcastle as well?
Yeah, I played Hoochie, me and Warren. Like at the end of the night, we still stayed another 1 or 2 hours while he DJ'd instrumentals. In fact, one of them was a brand new Heavy's instrumental, and I had to make up songs on top, and we were there forever. It was amazing.
Oh, that is amazing. They're the best things, aren't they? Just spontaneous gigs.
But that's how I started. I started with a DJ saying, do something. And then I would, have to come up with the right key, lyrics, everything on the spot. So I was kind of groomed for what I do now. Yeah.
Oh, so you started sort of a bit later in life. You weren't sort of like singing at 3, 4 years old.
No, I had a full-on career in management, and I didn't do any records before I was 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Went to school in the States, had not thought about doing music as a career, no.
Well,
but when the opportunity opened up, I was like, yep, this is it.
I'm all in.
And like I said in the last interview today, I worked. I drove 1,200 Ks a week to be back at my job on Monday. And I recorded albums and singles for everybody. Trance, dance, future breeze, avant-garde, all these different things. And it was meeting Sebastian Ingrosso's uncle. Luciano Ingrosso is the uncle of the Swedish House Mafia, DJ, producer. And he said, you have to be Terri B. You can't just do these records anonymously. So I said, really, you think? He said, you have to change it right now. And then I did a track called Soul Heaven, and it went around the globe as Terri B with Henrik B. And that was the first record where I said, oh, this could be something. And I got progressively more soulful, I still love the tech house and the trance stuff, but I could chameleon really well between the genres because I loved it so much.
And that's
but then I'm an AHA fan.
Right.
I love Information Society, New Order, Yaz, Alison Moyer, Communards, Wet, 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 just Abe Spandau Ballet. I like so much different music, but number one was the Squeeze.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's really good. I mean, the fact that you like so much different types of music and the fact that you're making lots of different music just keeps it open, doesn't it? And
well, in the beginning, they wanted to stop that. They said, you have to decide. And I said, nope, no, I don't want to decide because sometimes I feel house and sometimes I feel Carpenters. So this is just me.
So would you say that the fact the music scene has really changed in the last few years, would you say that has benefited you, putting you in the driver's seat as an artist, or, do you see conflicts with it?
I think it's an adjustment, so you have to stay on your toes. It's not, you have to always keep an ear to the street. So that's work. It's been work to do it, but it's been a pleasurable work. I think I've benefited from having both doors open. From the house world taught me how to stay relevant and how to understand trend and things like that. And it was the soul world that kept me raw and to the core of who I am. So you kind of mix both together. Yeah. And there's work to be done if you want to be in the industry today. That's just what it is. And you can't make records that come in 15 decibels below Earth, Wind and Fire's new record. That's not working. So you have to really know kind of what's going on. And it's a part of the business of music is also very important to understand it. It's always existed. I don't take, if Beyonce, for example, they're all raging about Beyonce's house record, and I'm going, be glad someone in that level and that importance in the industry is doing it, because she's making everybody else look at us. No, we've never been out of business, but it makes people say, ooh, this house music sure is good. Great, kids that were just born 7 years ago now like house music from the 80s. I think that's a benefit. People are too scared of competition. Just do what you do.
That's a really good testament there. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it will take someone like that to turn things around. I mean, I remember in the hip hop towards the end of the 80s, a lot of commercial stuff came out, but again, it attracted people to what was going on below. And again, with brand new heavies, they came out, and a friend of mine who lived in Venice Beach saw them do their first ever gig in the US, and she was saying they'd never heard anything like it in their life, and it reminded them of their childhood with their parents playing 70s funk music. And now you see, a few years after that, you see the States is like, right, we're going to really do this properly. And you've got people like Sharon Jones coming up, and you've got people, like, even now you've got groups popping up like Lettuce who are absolutely killing it. But the difference with people like Sharon Jones and that, they went a little further because they recorded everything on analog gear. It was all done on old tape and stuff. And I think the heavies have done a great thing by doing what they've done. They planted a seed back in America and said,
they planted a seed in me.
We've
Misha
sold
Paris,
it back to you. Misha Paris.
Misha Paris, the same. My friend wrote one of her songs, and Wendy Waltman, who I write with from time to, she wrote Whisper a Prayer. And I was like, Wendy, that I know you wrote for my favorite artist is a dream come true. Because Misha, I used to drive long distance, and that first album, The View from the Top is Making Me Feel, she just had something. I didn't have her range, but I had something that she felt familiar. Like dreamers do. Da, 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 da. I just thought, this is what I want to do. This UK soul shit is me. Like, so to be here in the UK right now gives me a chill, because I wanted to always be with you guys. I just always did.
That must feel amazing. Was it a dream as when you were a lot younger, when you were a child? Did you think you'd want to be in the UK, or did you not even think about it?
Well, I thought Europe, because I liked all this Euro, not the dance stuff yet, but I love the feeling of Tears for Fears and Duran Duran, and just I love I used to search in vinyls for new imports in the record store that I could play at home privately, and I didn't know what genre. So I bought Wet Wet Wet. I didn't know that was a famous group. I just bought it, and then I realized it was a famous group. The Squeeze was the same thing. I heard this Black Coffee in bed and said, this melodies, it's like Blow Monkeys, all-time favorite, and I could get the bass player from Level 42.
Oh, Mark King. That would be something, wouldn't it?
Level 42, I made people sick. I played it so often.
Oh, it's good stuff, though, isn't it? Great musicianship. And they're still going. They're still going.
I hope they call me too. I love them.
Mark King, if you're listening, if you're watching, Terri needs you.
Terri needs you. And I think I can pull that off because they'd be like, this girl really loves us.
Oh, yeah.
I do love you never lose it. Should be better. Lessons in love.
That's it. Yeah, there we are. It's got to be done then. So I think get searching. Let's get Mark. Let's find Mark. Mark needs to be with Terri.
I know. I swear to God, when I'm there, but everybody loves him, so you can't get too close. I was also a huge Johnny Hates Jazz fan.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I remember them.
I covered Shattered Dreams for Eurodance at one point. It was a good version, but I might go back. I Don't Want to Be a Hero seems perfect for right now.
There you go. So, yeah, going back to the whole situation, you've got things rolling and then we're hit with a pandemic. How did you reflect during that time? Is that when you started concentrating more on what you're doing now? Did it just give you the ideas then? Or were you just ticking things off a list that you needed to do?
No, it was all random. I actually had planned completely different things with the Terri Green project. And then I had a call after the What's Going On project. I had a call with Randy Hall. Right. And Randy told me, he said, Terri, everything you're doing, you can still do even more. He said, I see you with even more soulful, more this, more that. And he said, don't be afraid to reach out on the level of he said, Faith Evans or Lettucey or whatever. I've worked with all these people, Layla Hathaway. He said, there's a corner for you. I said, what? Dude, are you insane? Yeah. And I really said, are you insane? And then I went into the States during the pandemic and met Mark Stagger's brother, Reggie. And Reggie gave me a little snippet of something. And I said, Mark, let's sing this together. He said, nah, I'm good. And I said, but I hear a hit. He said, I don't hear it. And then I went and I called back to Reggie. I said, Reggie, can you stretch this out 16, give me some kind of B, and then tell me what you got for a middle 8. And let's do something in the vein of blah, blah, blah. And he sent it back. A few times we went back and forth. Then I wrote the record out and then we had it. Like that was caught up.
Fantastic. What a great tune that is as well.
It's very on here. Very personal record because it's one that I wrote not caring about anybody's idea of what I should be singing. I just wrote the record the way it is. And that's really an honor.
And the inspiration behind the lyrics and that, what was that to do with?
Not sure I can tell you that.
I just need to listen to it and work it out.
Oh no, I don't want you to listen to that one. No,
to the lyrics.
I put myself in another space as a writer.
Right.
And I always do. I do it very often because I wrote for a lot of pop stars, teen stars, Idol, all this stuff. And the mood was of a woman who was in a relationship where or a man, where they're so in love with this person.
Yeah.
They're so caught up. They're so into it. But there's a lot of faults from both sides. So the love is strong, but you still have to try to figure it out. And it feels like I'm going to eventually settle where I should be with this person because you've been through so much drama and trauma before. Yeah. So you should be with this person because they probably fit you the best. So that's what the song is about. Appreciating the love that you have.
Yes, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing, definitely.
Kind of got all around the story, but that's what it's about.
No, that's cool. But I like music with a story, and this is what I find with a lot of old soul records. They got stories. I don't want to know about someone's Mercedes Benz or how much money they got, and that's what became of hip hop, and then that got boring, and then you had your Slick Rick, and then it went back to that again with the commercial end, and then you heard it in R&B as well, and it's like, what are you doing to this music? But it's gone away. It's sort of going away again now. We're getting more stories, and I love that. Exactly. I love it.
If you I love the story. Like I said, I was listening to the new Actually, even Beyonce's new song, I listened to the lyrics. It's a very good, it's very well written. People maybe just hear all the catchy parts, but it's really about, I do all these things and I want to get off from work. I want to have a good time, but life isn't that easy. So I have to really think about how to free myself. And it's actually a really good lyric. Earth, Wind and Fire has done incredible lyrics for 50, 60 years.
It's just
that's the way of the world.
Unbeatable. Oh gosh, yeah. Did you ever see the film? You know, it's a soundtrack to a film. That's the way of the world.
No, I did not.
It's not the best film, and it was all right, but when you see Earth, Wind and Fire having a stab at acting, it's like the guys just record the music. But that soundtrack is amazing. It's the whole album's just wonderful album.
What's crazy, you mentioned that. I just recently watched something where it's called Loot, and it's on Apple Plus or Apple TV with Minnie Riperton's daughter. I forget Rudolph. Maya Rudolph.
Yes.
But the music on every single episode is incredible. It's everything you love, like songs that you have not heard forever. Somebody picked amazing music syncing for this show. It's worth watching, and she's hilarious.
I need to watch that.
It's really, really funny. But the music selection made me want to go find the soundtrack to every episode.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's really good. It's very inspiring, isn't it? Sometimes when music is put to a story, it's just, you remember it for different reasons, you know. It's that's really good. So if we've mentioned Mark King, but if there was someone else you wanted to collaborate other than Mark King and the Heavies, who else would you collaborate with?
I would love to produce a record for Gladys Knight.
Oh yeah.
I think even Caught Up could have been a really big record for her.
Yeah. Oh man, she's unblemishable. She's still good now.
Yeah.
She
my
can
mother
still
always
hold
reminds
it.
me, you know, Mark and I did a duet together, Breath Away, and my mom said, "You remind me of Gladys Knight." And I thought, that's the best compliment you can give me, because I absolutely love her. So that, you know, getting a call from like Mickey Howard or any of these legends that I love so much, Stephanie Mills, that would be my dream. And that's why I fought so hard for people to understand that I have produced every single record. It was very important for me that the singing is just secondary for me. The production, selection, instrumentation, decision making that goes into whether a record's going to work and be tasty for you guys is what I've done since I started this business. And as a kid, all I wanted to do was be a music producer or A&R.
Fantastic.
So I look at it in this way, and I think I've helped. I always reach out and help other artists in any way that I can. The 9-song record with What's Going On, Cornell's like, "You sure you want to do all of that?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we ended up doing 9 artists, you know, with Mark Staggers and Cornell and Randy.
Mark's cool. I like his songs.
Miracle.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, that's really good. I think production is a wonderful thing. I produce as well. I absolutely love it. I love putting stuff together, and my wife too, Gina, she produces, and it's an exciting side of it as well. Just trying to get that sound that you really want.
That's and I'm not an instrument, so I don't play keyboards very well, not good enough for a record. But I have a keen sense of styling, of production, where things need to go, what needs to be inside of it, what musicians you should choose, how the musicians should play it. If they need me to sing them the bass line, I can do that too. And Louise Mihan is doing the exact same thing. And people don't realize she's so involved, like I am, in every production. Her husband is doing the orchestration, programming, but she too is 50-50 of that. I watched her, we were in the studio last week in Newcastle, and I was loving every minute of it. And she said, "You don't want to do what you want to do, Terri." I said, "Nope, I'm in your session, tell me what you want. I want to do what you want me to do."
That's great. Oh, that is really good. It's good just to not have to worry about that side of things. As enjoyable as it is, it's nice to just step into a different arena, isn't it?
Absolutely. And me, you know, Louise and I, we became buddies. Like, she's the nicest human being. And Solutions, for me, I said, "Girl, this is a band that needs orchestras and festivals and auditoriums and just Carnegie Hall. And she said, "Oh," I said, "I'm serious.
Yeah.
You're a queen. You're a queen." She's a queen.
Aim high.
Same with Candace Woodson. She's also brilliant. Miracle Thomas, Tangeray Howard.
Love Miracle. She's great. And
Shayla Prosper. Shayla is amazing. I listen to a lot of Shayla on private. She's on a lot of my playlists.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, there's just so many great artists out there that you have a lot to listen to in the moment.
I'm sport for choice. I feel really guilty because I'm a musician as well. When I'm doing my show, if I don't play everything I've been sent, which is every week, I feel guilty because I know what goes into it. I know both sides of the coin. I know how long you spend doing something. And if I don't, play it, or if I don't give a listen to it, I don't like needle dropping stuff, I like to listen to the whole thing. And sometimes I end up having to do that just to fit stuff in. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be in this position. But, I'm spoiled like a lot of other DJs. We get given so much. But at the end of the day, it's about the artist. It's not about a superstar DJ. It's about the artist and God. So,
Exactly. Amen.
Amen.
So many soul brothers over in the UK. It's like,
oh yeah, we love it.
Music has no color. My father always said that. So always look and listen to what you're hearing, and then you will enjoy. Just enjoy it. Everybody can enjoy it. Yes. Everybody can own a piece of it. Like, it's just a blessing that you have so much good music.
Really is. It's a beautiful thing. And now that we're going through different times in the music industry, there's a lot more people stepping up and taking control, and we're hearing a bit more variety, but you got to look for it. People don't be lazy. Look for music. That's what I say.
Yeah. And I would never have done the Caught Up record probably if I were listening to a label. I would have never come to that point. So I think sometimes right now is a bonus that we're more independent minded and trying things we wouldn't normally try.
That's it. So finally, what advice would you give to someone? Let's say, imagine yourself at 27 or even someone at 10 years old. What advice would you give them if they were thinking, I want to have a stab at doing some music?
Well, 3 things, I think. Number 1, know your craft. Always strive to get better. If you're a singer, take vocal lessons somewhere, do something, practice, tune, train, listen to other things. If you're a producer, learn the craft. Don't just plug around all day trying to make things work. Really learn it. Number 2, don't give yourself a time limit, a clock. Don't, work based on the life you have. If you have 4 children and you want to sing, great. It might take you another 10 years, but don't feel like your chance is limited by time. Soul music, I feel like I could sit a record for a year and do it next year. So what? I can be 62, 52, 42, 72, no time limit. And number 3, do what you dream of doing before you don't have the opportunity. You have one life, so you have to do what you love. My father told me that, which is why I decided to do more soulful records and go into the soul direction with Terri Green project. Terri Green, because I needed to do that for my soul. I needed to play with musicians like NWO, like Randy Hall, and this is a dream for me. So you have to achieve that on whatever level would make you satisfied. Go for it.
That is fantastic. What a great testament. It's been great chatting with you, and I think our listeners are going to be enjoying this thoroughly. So
I love your voice. It's so soothing. It's like
I try my best. I like to keep people calm, and I don't ask about ice cream.
Okay, ice cream, by the way, would be vanilla. Actually, it's very boring.
No, it's definitely a good foundation for all flavors.
You made me feel good.
That's good, man. Well, thank you so much. You take care, and God bless you.
Anytime, call me if you need me. You have my email, and we are always in touch.
Thank you, and we'll be getting behind you. So likewise, if you need help, just give us a shout. Take care now. See you then. Okay, bye-bye.
You're listening to Indie Soul Radio with DJ Prone, spinning the best independent soul school tunes. It's Indie Soul Radio. Let us put you in the mix.